On a quiet, starry evening, a young child sat by the window, gazing out at the vast sky. The world seemed so big, and yet, they felt a sense of restlessness inside, like there was something they couldn't quite understand. The child often wondered about the things people chased after in life: wealth, success, recognition. It seemed like everyone was running after something, but no one ever seemed satisfied. As the wind gently rustled the trees outside, the child turned to Pascal, an elderly figure who had shared many lessons about life and its deeper meanings. Pascal had always been a source of wisdom, his words calm yet profound. And the child felt that this was a moment for another of his teachings. Pascal, the child asked with a curious tone, why do people always want more? Why do they never stop chasing after things, even when they already have so much? Pascal, with a gentle smile, sat down beside the child. He looked at the stars, as if pondering the question for a moment, before turning to the child with a knowing look in his eyes. That's a very important question, Pascal said. The answer lies in understanding something very deep about human nature. People often chase after what they think will make them happy, but they don't realize that true happiness doesn't come from having more. It comes from understanding what we already have and finding peace with it. And so, the conversation began, unfolding a truth that the child would come to carry with them for the rest of their life. Then, even if one has money, status, and power, but endlessly continues to crave more, what does that heart lead to? Is it the path to paradise? The child asked again. Pascal paused for a moment, lowering his head in deep thought before responding. That's right. Endless craving can ultimately lead a person to ruin. At first, when one gains wealth, status, and power, they may feel strong and secure. But eventually, these things will fuel more desires. And when those desires surpass what one can manage, the person becomes trapped. Because desire never finds contentment. It always wants more, and when that is not fulfilled, only anxiety and longing remain. The child's gaze grew deep, and Pascal continued. Why can't people let go of their desires? The reason is simple: they are never satisfied with what they have. Human hearts are instinctively driven to constantly seek more. At first, one dreams modest dreams. Once those dreams are fulfilled, the person dreams of something greater, and eventually, when those dreams exceed what can be achieved, they unknowingly become imprisoned by them. Desire is like a burning coal. Once it starts, it requires more fuel to keep burning. So how does such endless craving end? The child asked. Ultimately, craving can destroy a person and lead them to ruin, Pascal said softly. Because desire distorts the true nature of a person and prevents them from finding the right path. At first, it may seem like the person is striving to get what they want, but in the end, desire causes them to become isolated. They lose sight of the important things: relationships with others, true peace, inner stability. Desire for more results in the loss of everything else. Eventually, the pursuit of more leads to nothing. The child's face darkened with sadness. So if one doesn't let go of their desires, will it ultimately lead to death? Yes, Pascal said, taking a moment to breathe before speaking again. When desire continually rules a person, it leads them away from their true self and ultimately to death. When one loses sight of the essence of life and becomes caught up in materialism and power, they cannot find real happiness. Craving only distorts life and brings emptiness. The pursuit of desire leads people to self-destructive paths, and in the end, they may lose everything they had hoped to gain. The child sat quietly, reflecting on the heavy question. Pascal continued. Desire ultimately causes a person to lose themselves. People harm others and wear themselves out in the pursuit of what they desire. That endless pursuit will eventually lead them to their own downfall. Because of desire, they lose their connection with what truly matters, and their mind and soul become weakened. In the end, they will be left with nothing meaningful, because what they sought wasn't true life. The child looked up with a hint of realization in their eyes. So how can one let go of desire and find peace within themselves? The way is to truly know oneself and understand where desires come from. Pascal answered gently. To let go of desire, we must admit what we already have and be grateful for it. We must learn to share with others. Most importantly, we need to believe that what we have is enough. When we find true peace within ourselves, desires will slowly fade, and in that space, love and happiness can fill us. A smile began to form on the child's face. So, if I let go of my desires, I can find love and peace? Yes, Pascal smiled. That is the true meaning of life. When we share with others and find peace within, desire will no longer control us. The child thought for a moment, their eyes filled with curiosity. But what if it's difficult to let go of desires? What if it feels like something is missing inside, something that keeps pushing us to want more? Pascal nodded, understanding the child's concern. It's true, letting go of desires is not easy. In fact, it's one of the hardest things a person can do. We are conditioned to always want more wealth, more success, more power. Society tells us that these things are what define our worth. But when we chase after them without ever being content, we become trapped. The emptiness you feel inside is a sign that you're looking in the wrong place. True fulfillment doesn't come from accumulating things, but from cultivating peace within yourself. The child listened intently, their heart starting to understand. So, how can I start to change? How do I stop wanting more and be content with what I have? It starts with small steps, Pascal explained. Begin by recognizing what you already have: your family, your health, your relationships. Appreciate these things and let go of the need to constantly chase after what you don't have. Practice gratitude. By focusing on the present moment and being thankful for what you've been given, you create a space where peace can enter. In that space, you will find that your desires begin to lose their grip on you. The child's expression softened, a quiet sense of calm settling in. I think I understand now. It's not about having everything. It's about being grateful for what I already have and finding peace within. Exactly, Pascal said with a gentle smile. When you find that inner peace, everything else will fall into place. You'll see that what you have is more than enough. And from there, you can truly begin to live not in the pursuit of endless desires, but in the contentment of knowing that you are enough, just as you are. The child sat quietly for a moment, reflecting on Pascal's words. So, it's not about being perfect or having everything? They asked softly. Pascal looked at the child, a serene smile on his face. No, it's about realizing that perfection is an illusion. The more you seek it, the more you'll feel empty. True fulfillment comes from accepting yourself and the life you have, with all its imperfections. When you stop chasing after endless desires, you open your heart to something much greater. The peace and contentment that comes from living authentically. The child smiled, feeling lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from their shoulders. I think I can do that. I don't need to be like everyone else. I just need to be myself. Exactly, Pascal said warmly. And in doing so, you'll find that you are more than enough. The world doesn't need you to be like anyone else. It needs you to be the best version of yourself. So take each day as it comes, with gratitude and a heart at peace. That is the key to living a life of true wealth, not in material things, but in the richness of the soul. With those final words, the child stood up, their heart full of a new understanding. They didn't have all the answers, but they now had a sense of direction. And for the first time in a long while, they felt content, knowing that true happiness wasn't something they had to chase, but something they could cultivate within themselves. As the stars continued to twinkle above, the child left Pascal's side with a newfound clarity. The gentle breeze whispered through the trees, as if echoing the wisdom that Pascal had just shared. The child understood now life wasn't about accumulating endless achievements or material possessions. It was about embracing the present, cherishing what was already there, and finding peace within. The path to true happiness was not in the relentless pursuit of more, but in the quiet acceptance of oneself and the world as it is. With a heart open to gratitude and a soul free from the chains of desire, the child felt ready to walk this path, knowing that the journey itself was where true fulfillment lay. Pascal watched as the child walked away, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing that a seed of wisdom had been planted. He understood that this journey towards inner peace was one of the most challenging, yet rewarding paths a person could take. As he gazed up at the sky, he found solace in the thought that, even if only one person could grasp the essence of his teachings, they could spread a ripple of change far beyond what he could see. The stars above twinkled with an unspoken promise, illuminating the night like a guiding light. Pascal knew that the child, much like everyone else, would face struggles and desires, but he trusted that the wisdom gained today would remain a steadfast companion. Deep down, he hoped that the child would one day become a bee,